The University of North Alabama has been educating students in the music and entertainment industry since 1975. One of the first programs of its kind in the country, and the first in the state of Alabama. We've got a lot to be proud of as we celebrate the program's 50th anniversary. We want to share some of the alumni and their UNA stories.
It beats digging ditches, and we get to wear jeans and sneakers and have a grown-up job and be a part of something really special. Hi, I'm Kenny Rodgers, and this is my UNA story. When I think of music, I think of my grandparents' house. I think of my pawpaw having picking parties in his living room with all of his buddies, playing anything with a string on it, you know, stand-up bass, guitar, mandolin, all that stuff. When I think of being a kid, it's funny, I think of music. I think of those moments at my grandmother's house where, you know, you used to have the big record player that was a piece of furniture, right? The huge thing. And, you know, we'd be at grandma's house and there would be Elvis. Just feels like it was permeating the entire house, right? It's just this big sound, or Patsy Cline or whatever. Music has always been a part of my life. I was in band in elementary and high school for many years, and play enough guitar to be dangerous, but I think music's always been a passion of mine, just because it's always just been woven into my life. I think my journey to get to college was an interesting one. I didn't know what I wanted to do out of school. You know, I started my bachelor degree and kind of floundered, not knowing what I wanted to do. In that journey, I met some friends who had been signed to a major label and dropped, and we're still doing music, and I just began to ask questions. Music's always been a part of my life. Around that time on MTV, there was a show where they were interning at one of the major labels, Sony or Arista or something like that. And I was like, just curious, like, wait, I want to know more about the label. This seems really interesting. You get to be part of the music business. For those of us who don't have the talent, you know, to be artists ourselves. And the band friends connected me to their entertainment lawyer, and I asked him questions because, you know, I'm old enough now that the internet wasn't always the first thing you did, you know? And so I'm talking to their entertainment lawyer in New York, and he's like, there's a ton of great music business schools. Like, you should look into it. And so I did. I began that journey and came up here to UNA, and I thought, beautiful campus, loved it. There was just a natural kind of pipeline of our students going to UNA. And so when I found out that was a program, yeah, I think that just kind of helped make that decision. And I get to be close to home, and, you know, on those weekends where you needed a good meal or to come home and wash clothes, that being a little bit closer didn't hurt either. What the program was so helpful for in me is it turned me on to what I do now. It's, you know, hey, there's A&R, there's marketing, and there's publicity. And then Dr. Garfrerick starts talking about radio promotion, and I was like, my antenna went up. I'm like, oh, wait, tell me more about this. It gave me the broad understanding, and also some very specific understandings on a couple of things. And I think it gave me a great foundation that, you know, I was able to build upon easily once I kind of got a foot in the door. You know, I think at some point, size is an advantage, and at some point it's a disadvantage. And I think, you know, being here in Nashville and seeing some of the volume of some of the programs, like, you're just another name. And I think the ability to be a little bit smaller department and to know each other by name and all that, like, I think that goes a long way. You know, Malcolm Gladwell's David and Goliath book talks a lot about you can be a really small fish in a big pond or a big fish in a small pond. And I think there's some truth to that, of it's a little easier to stand out, to build relationships when you're not one of hundreds and hundreds of people. You know, to reach back, it's funny, there are several UNA graduates in our company, and you know, we pride ourselves in that, and you give little roar lions every now and again throughout the workday. But you know, one of the brightest people on my team is a UNA graduate, and I think is destined to do really, really great things. And so I've been fortunate enough to have some really great mentors along the way that just kind of spent that extra time, gave you that extra equity to learn on a real level, and try to do the same for them. Through my connections, I was able to get a couple of internship interviews set up. One with Broken Bow Records, who at the time was a tiny independent label. and I had an amazing interview there. And the other interview was it was EMI CMG at the time. It's now Capital Christian Music Group, but a day I'll never forget. I mean, from printing off directions to MapQuest to even find where I was going, I'm sitting in an interview with the head of Broken Mo radio promotion, and somebody bust into the room and they're like, "You've got to come, it's on, it's on." And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And so their small staff, I mean, they're a big label now, but their small staff of 7 or 8 people all rush into their conference room, and Jason Aldean's first video on CMT, first play happened. And so they're all just losing their mind. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's be here at this moment. And then I went and interviewed at EMI CMG, and yeah, I felt the peace and the presence that's where I was called. So interned with EMI CMG for 6 months, and towards the end of my internship, I was like, man, I really want to do this. Like radio, I had the full radio bug, the perfect like job for me. It scratches the competitive itch, the measurables, the creative, all the things. I was like, man, I really want to do this. There wasn't an opening at Capital. They said, hey, our guys over here at Word just lost their coordinator. He got a promotion. You should talk to him. So I did. I went through interviews, and my last day of my internship, I walked out at 12 o'clock to go to my full-time job that I was working while I was interning. And 7 o'clock that night, 6 o'clock, I got a phone call with the job offer before I'd even graduated. That was my start, but I think when you get to start at the bottom, you get to learn all the nuts and bolts. And so I try to just not wish that season away and be in the moment, but that was my first job. I've done some fun things. I mean, we did when I was at Word, we partnered with Live in the Vineyard and Southwest Airlines to do a Live at 35 performance. So we're 35,000 feet in the air on the plane, and for King Country's 12 band members are down the entire aisle of the plane singing into the intercom system, and you know, that was a lot of fun. It's been special to be a part of a lot of great careers along the way and have a support role in it. We worked with an artist named Ann Wilson. Her first single we sent to radio, My Jesus, a few years ago, was the first song at the time to debut single to top the chart in the history of that Billboard chart. So there aren't a lot of firsts left in the music industry. They're kind of hard to come by, but you know, that was one. We just celebrated another item with Chris Tomlin, where over his career, he's spent a combined 3 years at #1. That's across all singles, but if you add them all up, it totals 3 years at the top of a chart, and that's just a testament to an incredible artist and incredible legacy that we're still building on. Yeah, those are a couple of really special moments for sure. There's going to be times where, this is my experience, you're not getting the promotion as quick as you want. Things aren't happening as fast as you want. But if you stay the course and you do the work and you're growing along the way, good things will come. Don't look past the moment. Be content where you are for the season you are, and learn what you can there, because it's going to pay off tomorrow. But, you know, don't get lost in the desire to grow and forget to be excited about where you are, because it's the music business, and there's a lot of people that love to be in it that may never have a chance. And so it may not be fun stuff in envelopes or, you know, making reports today, but stay with it and you'll get where you want to go. I did get to meet the real Kenny Rodgers once. It was a treat.
Oh, wow. Did you say, hi, I'm Kenny Rodgers?
I did. In really incredible, like, professional, like, this is not your first rodeo fashion. I was at a meet and greet at the Ryman, and, you know, there's 30 of us in a space that holds 10 people. And I go up and I said, hey, my name's Kenny Rodgers too. And he says, that's something. Spins me around to get ready for the photo. And I'm thinking, that's going to be it. Like, that was my chance, and that's all I got. And we take a picture, and he looks at me. He goes, I tell you what, you take good care of my name, and I'll take good care of yours. And that was the moment. I was just like, my mind was blown. Like, you're so good. How did you come up with that so fast?